Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to Harmon Homestead. Guys, I'm out in my front yard. So let me tell you, guys, we've been super busy lately, but I'm finally back to making videos. I've had a lot of projects going on. I want to tell you my latest project. So in my front yard, I have 2 hickory trees. Guys, this is a beginner's guide to foraging. Now, out of all my years I grew up here, I have never seen these trees have as many hickory nuts as they have had this year. So the trees are loaded. Yesterday I got in front of one way back there. Maybe you can kind of catch it in the camera. And I picked up probably, I'm going to say 10 gallons worth of hickory nuts. Now I'm in front of the biggest tree and we're going to pick these up. Guys, if you are new to foraging or you're landscaping, you're homesteading, I would plant fruit trees. They take a long time to produce, and I would plant some kind of nut tree. These we just had. They were already here. They're huge. They're old. The base of one is probably 3 foot wide on one of these. I'll flip the camera around and show you in a second. But guys, I can make use out of this fruit as harvest. So what I'm going to do is pick up all these hickory nuts and we'll show you what we've got. And I'm going to add this in here too. Guys, it takes a long time to get this stuff producing. A very long time. So if you're new starting out homesteading, look at your landscape. If you're going to plant trees, don't plant stuff just ornamental. Plant something that will give you some kind of harvest. Now, hickory nuts, I'm going to bend down here and pick one up. They are notorious for being hard to crack, okay? So what I'm going to do is I have, my dad has a vise, and so does my husband. We're going to try to use that to crack these open, and then a little nut pick. I don't know what to call it. It's like a little silver needle looking thing. And my mom used to have them growing up. We don't have them anymore, but you have to get that goodie out, and there'll be a lot of bitter around it. So it's very tedious to do this, but it's great results. So that is a hickory nut. There's all different kinds of hickory trees. I don't know what kind these are. I have no clue. I know that this year, usually they're all about this size. These are, hear them? They're just falling all around me. I have never seen these this loaded before. But it's very tedious, but it gives you something to do in the wintertime. They're very good, and you can freeze these once you have them shelled, and they'll last for, you know, a long, long time before we can ever get to eating them. But learn your landscape. Plant things that will give you a harvest to forage, okay? So I'm not the world's best on what plants are poisonous, what is not. That scares me with this foraging. I don't know, but I love trees that will give me a harvest. That has been beneficial to me this year. Our fall garden, guys, is terrible. It's terrible. We've had no rain. I've watered it. I finally just let it go. But I'm going to tell you this and throw this in there. If you cannot grow anything, plant this in the fall. Kale. Guys, kale will grow no matter what. It will survive, excuse me, a light snow. I've had that happen before, and it grows as a stalk, so you just continuously harvest the leaves off of it. I'll show you our little kale patch here, and I'm going to show you all the hickory nuts. Plan ahead. Think of what you can get for free. Look at this. Look at this, guys. So they're everywhere. Hickory nuts fall, and when they do, they have their husk. Now, I did a video on crafts, and I showed you how to use that husk and make flowers out of it. I just pulled the little shell apart. These are great for compost. Put that in your raised bed or compost pile, anything like that. I did last year, and then they come like that. Okay, that's out of the husk. That's your shell. These are extremely hard. Now, here in Alabama, we have pecans, we have hickory nuts, and we have black walnuts abundantly in the woods. More so hickory nuts and black walnuts. Walnuts will stain your hands, the shell. Black walnuts, your hands will be covered. These do not. They're just very easy to pick up like this. But guys, I mean, I have never seen this many laying around. I've got a 5-gallon bucket we're gonna start with, but we've got a metal roof, and you can just hear these hitting the top of the house, just boom, boom, constantly. I mean, they're everywhere, and I've always grown up having these, but I have never seen it this abundant. And furthermore, in the tree, it's still loaded. So let me pan the camera around. This is the hickory tree. It's got some ivy on the trunk. It always turns the week of Thanksgiving, but for some reason this year, the leaves are dropping early. It's not even Halloween. My red maple out front's doing that as well. So I want you to see the width of this tree. Guys, he's 3 foot in width. I mean, he is huge. He's been here a long time, but the hickory nuts will fall everywhere, all along up under the tree. And it's hard to see. They really are hard to see. We're lucky with these that are already on the ground like that. But guys, this is a lot of hickory nuts. They go all the way to my chicken pens over here. Let me show you my fall garden really quick. All right, so here's our fall garden. It's terrible. This is all I've had. Now I have English peas that have germinated here. Say hey, Bonnie. And there's my first bloom, but they haven't grown at all. It's terrible, guys. These first 2 rows are kale, dwarf Siberian kale. 1 row did okay. The second one did not want to germinate. And those 2 rows kind of clumped up at the end are turnip greens. Now, usually I broadcast my turnip greens. This year I didn't. It's just terrible. But I will say I got my first salad last night off of this kale. What you do is you come down here to the stem and you pick it. You'll just pick off the biggest leaves like this one right here. And then the stem just keeps going up. These will get several feet tall and you'll be able to have a harvest. Again, like I said, even in light snow. So that is 100% accurate because we had light snow the first year that I planted this and it did fine. So this will keep going. I would encourage anybody to grow kale. I love it. It's nutritious. It's great. And you just about can't kill it. So, but I had a germination problem this year. Now, I had 3 rows of beets. I have had 3 beets germinate. Everything this year has had trouble germinating. I don't know why. It's not working well, but that's our pitiful fall garden. And I told you before, if I do great in the summer, I'm going to do terrible in the fall, and vice versa. It's always that way. So, that's it. We'll have a couple of meals of turnip greens, and we'll definitely have kale all winter. That's probably the most kale I've ever had. That's 30 feet plus probably, I don't know, you're looking at probably 40 feet of kale, so that's great. We'll have salads all winter long, but otherwise, fall garden, it's over. But we're going to make use of this foraging. Guys, learn foraging is free. It's free food in your backyard. All right, so here's the results. 2 huge baskets from 1 tree, and I finally had to stop today. That is 2 5-gallon buckets of hickory nuts. Guys, free food. Free food in my backyard, and we're gonna start getting these in the freezer.